Hi guys, and welcome back to How the Horror Should Have Ended, and today we're going to be looking at Halloween Resurrection.
Everybody's a suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Wolfman's got Nards!
Halloween Resurrection, as most of you know, was a complete mess, and if I was doing a series called How the Horror Should Have Started, this would have been a prime example of how to change a horror movie for the better, because the beginning of Halloween Resurrection, as much as we love to see Laurie Strode, it was an absolute mess because of what they'd done with the Laurie Strode character. Now when I look back on the ending of Halloween Resurrection, the very end of the movie wasn't so bad, and we'll get into that part, but if I'm going to fix Halloween Resurrection, I'm going to have to go all the way back to when Freddy had that line,
"Trick or treat, motherfucker."
And although the movie was bad up until this point, it just got worse. The fact that I'm going back to this part doesn't mean that I actually enjoyed anything before that. It was all a mess, but I just can't fix the whole movie. We're going to have to cut it at some point, and I think that's the perfect part to begin of how we would change the ending. First things first, I wouldn't make Freddy indestructible in the way that he was in this movie. He had 9 lives, so he was like a cat, and in this movie, Michael was really strong. He was killing people he was coming in touch with, but for some reason he just couldn't kill Freddy. So the first thing I would have done was, if he came up with, if there was a fight between Michael and Freddy, I would make it just as easy for Michael as it was for his previous victims in the film. So you're probably thinking, well, if Freddy's not there to save Sarah, the final girl, who's going to save Sarah? Well, we've got an actor called Ryan Merriman who's a really good actor, and he was very underutilised in this film. He plays Miles. Now he's a character from afar, and he's contacting Sarah through the webcam or the live stream back in 2002. And I just felt like he was very underutilised. So my change would be that Freddy comes in touch with Michael, Michael kills him off, Sarah's all left alone, but she's trying to escape and she's getting helped by Miles, just like we've seen in the original cut of the movie. But only this time we would make it that Miles isn't too far away from the Michael Myers house, so that he could maybe think, okay, I can't get hold of her. What I'm going to have to do now is make my way over there, and he can become one of these unlikely heroes. He's just a skinny boy, he's only 17, 18 years old. Make him the hero of the movie, or at least the saviour for the final girl. Now that's something that we don't see very often in horror movies, especially Halloween movies. We had characters like Brady in Halloween 4 that, although he died, he was that kind of scrawny kid who you knew wouldn't be able to kill Michael Myers or defend anyone against Michael Myers, but he tried his best. And I think something like that for Halloween Resurrection would have been a better payoff than having somebody like Busta Rhymes and with the lines that he had for Freddy.
So you want to be on Dangertainment?
I also think it would have been unexpected because, again, you've got people like Charlie in Halloween H2O, who was that little scrawny kid who didn't even try to defend himself, he just ended up dying. And the most likely people to die are people like Charlie and possibly Miles if he was closer to the action. So I think if we put Miles closer to the action and made him survive, he might have been a character that we could have got behind, somebody that we might have liked. That was lacking in Halloween Resurrection. Can you name anyone that you liked in Halloween Resurrection? Probably not. Now if we come to the very end of Halloween Resurrection with Michael Myers opening up his eyes at the very end with the crispy mask. Now, as much as that's quite silly, I would probably keep that part in. Now, obviously eliminate what happened with Freddy, let him die, make Miles the hero, or the unsung hero, or the unlikely hero. Make him the hero. Michael Myers is burnt to a crisp, just like they did in the original version of Resurrection. Have him open his eyes. I think that's tradition for Michael Myers, and it's a tradition for the Halloween franchise. This timeline was supposed to still continue after Resurrection, but because Resurrection was so bad, they ended up rebooting it a few years later with Rob Zombie. But if it was successful, you would have Michael Myers opening up his eyes at the very end, and then we're like, oh, there's going to be a sequel. That's why I said come back to that part, because that part wasn't so bad. It was typical for a Halloween movie, and it was probably one of the better parts, to be honest, of Halloween Resurrection. So that's my thoughts on what I would have done differently with Halloween Resurrection, guys. I know that some of you might like Freddy, some of you might like the ending to Halloween Resurrection, and that's what I want to know just now. Leave your comments down below, guys. What would you have done differently if you had the choice to change Halloween Resurrection's ending?
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
As always, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.